I bet you have heard of Tutankhamun or King Tut or the Boy King. Yes, from National Geographic, Discovery Channel, History Channel. But have you heard it from the Bible channel? Well, let me show you if this Boy King could be the one from the Exodus. What? Let me show you this. Hello, everybody. Listen, I've never heard or try and put it in my head about this Boy King because he's the youngest king ever. Yes, in the history of all pharaohs. You know, the Boy King. Apparently, he was rushed into his tomb. A quick mummification. What? Something was done very rushful. No, very quick. Why? Listen, maybe you haven't heard it this way. But do you remember the 10 plagues of Egypt? Exodus? Yes? Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Okay. Let me show you this. And then we'll go over it. Okay? They're going to say a few names of what they believe were the pharaohs of the time of Moses. Who was Moses? And who was the woman who picked the basket up in the river? King Tut. So apparently the father was the one who drowned in the Red Sea when it parted and the waters came back. See, his father is drowned. So they rush him, put everything from his father and all his belongings that's there into the tomb. Because his father is missing, right? Okay. Now, this book, Battle for the Firstborn, was completed by his wife, Mary Nell Wyatt. I believe God chose this man for all the archaeology that's been hidden from us. Remember, Satan is the god of this world. He's not a beast in red with a fork and a tail, you know, like Hollywood. He's in the air. He's the particles in the air. Makes you change your mind, and everybody underestimates his power. He's trying to hide all the truth from the Bible and from God. All of it. See? With people that know how to talk, very clever people. See? And they confuse the history. How can that man know more than the people of the school? How? Yes, that's what's going on. Listen to this. Tutankhamun. This is her book. Mary Nell Wyatt. And this is her. It's going to appear here.
In 1988, when I first married Ron and began to help him with his work, he gave me my first assignment. He explained to me that he believed he knew who were the pharaohs during the events before, during, and after the Exodus. My job was to document his ideas with the information known from archaeologists and scholars. At first, I was confused when he told me the dynasty he believed ruled during the Exodus, because the scholars and archaeologists presented this long list of kings that extended far beyond the time period given in the biblical account. But then Ron told me something that changed everything. He explained that he believed many of the kings listed one right after the other were actually the same king in two different positions, both pharaohs, but one the emperor pharaoh and the other the co-regent pharaoh.
Well, based on all the information that we're able to gather to this point in time, uh, this was Thutmose IV. However,
Thutmose the fourth. Thutmose the fourth.
after you, shall we say, get a firm grasp on Egyptian history, you'll find out that this fellow had 8 titles altogether. And we won't go into all of them, but one of them was Amenhotep III, Thutmose IV, and then he
See? Amenhotep the third, he was the same person all the time. Different name.
had other names that went along with this.
Perhaps the most exciting is to learn that the firstborn son of the Pharaoh who died in the Red Sea was the young Tutankhamun, King Tut.
Up until very recently, they have said they have no idea why he died. Seemed to be a insect bite on one of his cheeks, side of his face. But here, since we have released this information, they are now saying that there's evidence that he was killed by a blow to the base of the skull. Well, when they excavated Tut, in their eagerness to get all of the jewelry off of him, they broke his neck, removed the head from the skeleton so they could get all these necklaces and things off. That is what created the trauma that they're now showing and saying was the cause of his death. Again, it's one of Satan's methods of trying to confuse the issue.
The evidence from his tomb makes it more than evident that something completely out of the ordinary happened when he died. His tomb was certainly not constructed for a royal person, much less a king. The major items in his tomb were not made for him because the name on his coffins and other items had been changed. His mummy was completely carbonized because whoever performed his mummification process performed it quickly, most likely on site, just before his burial. The cornflowers around his neck only bloom in March and April.
The cornflowers round his neck only bloom in March and April. Now listen what she's gonna say, okay? Because you'll remember the 10 plagues, okay? This is the 10 famous plagues of Moses, the man who parts the sea and everything. You know, the infamous story. Now remember the list of the 10 plagues. Remember, he sends 10 plagues to Pharaoh to let his people go. And he doesn't release the people till he sends the 10th plague, the death of the firstborns. Okay? That is when he lets the people go. And that Pharaoh goes after Moses. See what I mean? Now, if he goes after Moses, that boy has died. Okay? Do you know the story? Moses parts the sea comes back and drowns every single person, including Pharaoh. So how are they gonna do the burial for that man if he's gone? So I think that they put everything that's supposed to be for that Pharaoh to his boy king. He was dead, but his body was there, and they just made it in a rush. That's what I believe. See what I mean? Let's listen more. Why? Because remember this: cornflower blooms in March and April. This is what he's wearing round his neck, okay? Now, what's wrong with those dates? Listen to this.
The exact time of the very first Passover.
The very first Passover. The Passover. When they tell the Israelites to paint blood of a lamb in their doors because the angel of death was passing through to take all the first unborns. What? See? And the Passover this it's celebrated in March, all the way through April. See, Christians in different days they call it Easter, and those flowers blossom in that time. The ones that small king has around here. Apparently, that firstborn being the firstborn of the Pharaoh of the time of Moses and the Exodus and the 10 plagues that hit Egypt. And it's been all this time, this infamous boy king, Tutankhamun. Like I just explained, that's how I think that he was buried. See, when the Red Sea water parted and he came back, Bible says that he took all the lives of the Egyptians, including Pharaoh. So they put everything on his kid and buried him like a king.
Battle for the Firstborn
My theory.
sheds new light on the biblical account and never contradicts anything in Scripture. It introduces you to the Pharaoh who enslaved the Israelites and why this happened.
That Moses
You will
before.
meet Pharaoh's daughter who rescued Moses and why she was not able to bring him to live in the palace
This is the woman that found the basket with Moses inside in the river.
until he was 12 years old.
Hatshepsut. I'll show her.
You'll learn
I'll show
of the
her.
amazing person in ancient
Now this is the picture that I think, and they think it's Moses, and I believe them. This is the real picture of the real Moses.
Egyptian history who was Moses.
We can tell from our research
Listen.
is that there was a person who had the name of Cinnamut
Send them out.
that fits all of the Bible information about Moses, his growing up and being, and especially since it wasn't often that the king had an unmarried daughter. Usually they were married off quite early. In fact, usually as children. But we had a Pharaoh's daughter there by the name of Hatshepsut.
Hatshepsut. Send them out. It's the name that he thinks is Moses. And Hatshepsut is that famous Pharaoh's daughter that the Bible talks about. See, the woman who finds Moses in the basket and names him Moses, goes out of the waters. Listen, and the pharaohs before him that were named Thutmose. See? And I think that the other name was given when he just wanted to be in the line for a pharaoh and he became an Egyptian, actually. No, before knowing who he actually was. See? Cinnamut. You can search all this. I'm putting it so everybody, you can search this. Because it's very, very long. I don't want to make it long because it's all reading and reading. You have to get the book of Ron Wyatt's wife and you'll get everything you need to know about this story. Cinnamut. This is the real name of supposed Moses. And I think that when he goes to the land of Midian, when he kills the Egyptian god and he meets God, that's when he gets back his name, Moses, Moshe. And Cinnamut is what the Egyptians give him while he's there, because I think that his life is a little bit of a mystery and hidden, by this woman, Hatshepsut. This is the name, Hatshepsut. See, was born in 1507 BCE and is believed to have been the daughter of Thutmose I and his great royal wife, Ahmose. No, Ahmose actually means brother of Moses. After her father's death, Hatshepsut was then married to Thutmose II, her half-brother and father's heir. When she was 14 or 15 years old, the couple were around the same age. Hatshepsut. What? See, you can all check it out, okay? Apparently this is the woman who found Moses in the basket. And if you come here, see, has a biblical Moses been identified in secular Egyptian records? What? Oh, what is going on here? See? Now it talks about these names. Moses was a prophet and leader according to Abrahamic religions. Many scholars view him as a legendary figure, a real historic person. They do not consider that Moses-like figure could have existed in history. See, in this view of this writer, that is very possible, and the fact is that Moses' figure can be traced as that of the primary confidant of none other than Egyptian Pharaoh Hatshepsut. See, the trail begins with the Exodus. What? Listen, you can check it out. All this. See, where does the name Moses come from? See, 1500, 1480 BC is the time of Pharaoh Queen Hatshepsut, and she had a close confidant described by the well-known Egyptologist Joyce Tildesley in her book on Hatshepsut as the greatest of the great. The father of Hatshepsut was Thutmose I, and his name means son of Thoth, the god of wisdom. Mose meaning son. This is a common use of the word Mose, as in Ra Mezis, son of the sun god Ra. See what I mean? The biblical text tells us that it was the Pharaoh's daughter who named Moses. States that she called him Moses because she said, "I drew him out of the water." Hatshepsut. See? We will not find a Prince Moses in court in Egypt, because another Bible reference, Hebrews, states that Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Instead, we find that the close confidant of the queen is a man called Senemut. This appears to be a unique name, and one of its meanings is mother's brother. Hatshepsut was born in the early 1530s, so they were close in age. So such a name makes sense. What? If Hatshepsut is the woman who rescued and adopted Moses, what would make a woman of such high standing adopt a slave child after her mother Hatshepsut was the highest woman in the land, and such a woman would not consider saving the life of a slave child, let alone adopt him as a son? But when we look at the past, it is hard for us to remember that the people we observe in are just like us. They have thoughts and feelings like us. And Hatshepsut, at the time she found the abandoned baby in the basket, was a little girl with the instincts to protect the helpless that we see so often in children. The text of Exodus 2, verses 6 says, she saw the child. See? He was crying, and she took pity on him. See? So, what is going on? Listen, I think we've been lied so much. The story of all the Bible is right in front of us, but we follow the people of National Geographic and school. See, of course, no wonder there's so much. The Bible is corrupt. There's nothing to prove. Listen, if you don't know the main stories of the Bible and these things, you will never get archaeology. It's like showing, I don't know, somebody that's never seen a ball. You know, I don't know. See, this is the woman. Moses is born, see? The woman that finds it in the reeds by the riverbank. Then the daughter of Pharaoh, see, this is when it's mentioned, the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river. She saw the child, and behold, the baby wept, so she had compassion on him. See, this is the one of the Hebrews' children. That's that woman here, Hatshepsut. Let's finish. Just check it out. Check this stuff out. There are many people that are trying to debunk this man. This man is a liar. No Ark of the Covenant. He clearly said that all the archaeology he's found, Noah's Ark, Mountain of Moses, Golgotha, the Garden Tomb, and all this stuff, Sodom and Gomorrah, this is the only one that couldn't be shown yet.
Apparently was not married or betrothed to anybody.
Hatshepsut.
And so we believe that it was this Cinnamut.
And Cinnamon.
It didn't
that was
take
Moses.
long for me to discover that most, perhaps 95% of scholars, even biblical scholars, don't believe the Exodus was a real event. Of those that do, many of them.
This is why I try and say many people from religions and traditional religions and that they actually don't believe the Bible events were true. No God, no paradise, that we come from Adam and Eve, not even the Pope. He actually says it in an interview. They're just metaphors written by men. See, the actual Pope, the representation of Christ here on earth. Actually, it's very similar to what the Pharaohs. Pharaohs used to think that they were the representative of the gods on earth, just like the Pope. And actually, the Pope has an obelisk of Egypt in front of the Vatican. That Emperor Caligula brought it from Egypt and placed it there. And in America, many of the important government buildings, there's an obelisk there from Egypt. See, the pyramid, all seeing eye of Horus. See, the pineal gland, and all this stuff.
Them believe it didn't occur
Conspiracy.
as stated in the biblical account, but instead was a slow migration. The only pure data I could obtain came from original excavation records, because after that, the scholars presented their interpretations as fact. Interpretations of evidence never changed, even when new data shed new light that needed to be examined. Also, new interpretations, in order to be accepted, have to be peer-reviewed, which means it has to be submitted to the same group of people who are held to be the experts, the same people who espouse the original data interpretation. 32 years after I first began work on this subject, I completed the book Battle for the Firstborn, which presents Ron's evidences of
The Exodus and the Death of Tutankhamun. This is the book that she completed. You can get it in Amazon, I think, in the Kindle, or by their website. That they prefer that website because the money helps them continue the archaeology, to find the hidden stuff that's been hidden from us humans. Just think, si de verdad, if it's actually true that God is finding a way and all the ways to try and reach humanity, mankind, this is what's going on. And Satan is using all the other humans that don't want to believe and like evil things and darkness, see, to push this stuff away from us so we can go blind. See, we're here from the Big Bang and the Monkey Man. And no, I call the Monkey Man Mr. Darwin. See, the evolution man.
Of people and events which led up to the Exodus, beginning with Abraham, then Joseph, and the children of Israel coming to Egypt. It ends with the exciting evidence at Jericho. It provides evidence of the Exodus.
And the Saqqara complex with the 11 grain pits. That's from the story of Joseph in Egypt. See the step pyramid.
This earth has done a great amount of damage by causing many people to doubt the.
Listen, next video, I'm going to try and show you the video Ron Wyatt did of how the pyramids were made. Just listen to this part again.
With the exciting evidence at Jericho, it provides evidence of the Exodus exactly as presented in the Bible.
Exactly.
It shines great light on the battle with darkness. The prince of this earth has done a great amount of damage by causing many people to doubt the complete accuracy of the Bible.
Exactly.
But God did not leave us in the dark.
No, he didn't.
My promise to Ron, when he knew he was about to die, was that I would make this research known.
You know, God knows the age that we're living. We don't live in the times of the prophets, the times of the medieval times. Many godly people there, the times of the Egyptians, everything was God's. We live in the time of science, in the time of, come on, get your head out of your, what. See, that's where we come from, and God knows. That's why he's pushing, why all this archaeology is coming out now. More people are reaching out. That's not Noah's Ark. Then why is it in the same location the Bible says, and the longitude is the same, 300 cubic meters, 515 feet, in the location with anchor stones 23 kilometers to the side. No, the anchor stones. In the location, the Bible says, in the mountains of Ararat. In the mountains of Ararat, we see that skeleton there. Exactly the same length, the Bible says. How can that be? But how can that be? But now they're saying that, well, it is a boat, but it's from the Epic of Gilgamesh. That's why God appeared to Moses after that. So he can tell Moses the exact way the world was created and everything else.
It was the hardest work I ever did, not being a writer or a scholar. But Ron and I both were of the belief that our Creator did not make his truth dependent upon evolutionist scholars and historians to tell us what is truth. The facts speak for themselves.
Exactly.
Battle for the Firstborn can be ordered at ronwyatt.com. Just click on the picture of the book on the main page and you can order.
This book.
It is also available in Kindle on Amazon. Amazon also sells the book, but if you purchase from ronwyatt.com, you are helping us to be able to continue our website and our work. I thank you all for your interest in Ron's work. There is more to come.
See what I mean? What if it's true? God chose these people, humble people, see, to excavate the truth that's been hidden from us, the actual truth. And I get haters from YouTube now when I put this video there. Hey, this is not that. Tutankhamun has already been said by who? Another man? And I have to believe this other man because you say so. And because all of the masses say so. Oh my. Yeah. Where the masses go, and everything makes sense. The cornflower and the many cornflower that bloom in other seasons, Don't get me wrong. But the ones that they are saying blooms in the time that they say. You can search all this. Search it yourself. Don't listen to nobody, especially to me. Me, the amateur man. Look at my way of speaking. I'm an amateur. But I'm showing everything that's changed me. So people can see a random person showing you this. And you can investigate it and show another person, listen, out of 100 videos that I maybe do, if I can just turn one person to God. Wow. Because I don't think deeply inside no one is changing with me doing this, But who knows? Only God knows. So this is what they discovered in King Tut's tomb.
Today marks 100 years since a legendary discovery of King Tut's tomb. Our Kelly Kobiea has more on what's still being discovered in the desert sand a century later.
Wow.
He's the world's most famous pharaoh, an icon of Egypt, Tutankhamun, King Tut.
This museum is incredible.
The 3,000-year-old treasures from his tomb now on display in Cairo's Antiquities Museum. His gilded throne, the shrine of Anubis, god of the dead, and the most famous piece of all, King Tut's death mask.
Look at the face.
Look at
the eyes.
Incredible.
Nearly 5,000 items were found in King Tut's tomb, from the really big to the really tiny, and nearly all of them were in perfect condition.
That's what made British archaeologist Howard Carter's discovery, November 4th, 1922, a worldwide sensation, the only royal ancient tomb found largely intact. When Tut's artifacts came to the U.S. in 1976, millions waited hours to catch a glimpse. Researchers have studied his treasures and his mummified remains. But there are more mysteries in the sand, just 20 miles south of Cairo, where a general and advisors to King Tut were buried.
How old do you think they are?
It's about 3,000 years till now.
And
I
not
know,
far
Moses.
away, next to Egypt's oldest pyramid,
We just found today another tomb, a big one.
more ancient secrets waiting to be unearthed. Kelly Kobiella, NBC News, Cairo.
See what I mean? The most famous pharaoh because he's the boy king, but why? Nobody has searched his story. Listen, I know they get many other information about Egyptian translations from the Rosetta Stone, but I know that there've been many faults. I've read it. I've seen many documentaries. Hey, just investigate it yourself. Don't listen to me. But listen, everything that you see is related to the Bible, and we've been lied. Like the pyramids, like what I was saying before, the Saqqara step pyramid. Listen, Moses split the rock in Horeb, and water came out. It's in the scriptures. The same. See, Moses was told to wake up in the morning and build an altar at the foot of the mountain, and that's what he did. That's the altar at the foot of the Mount Sinai in Arabia. And the golden calf altar. And the thing is that it's wired. See, it's wired. See, with a notice board there and a code of death if you're found there, if found guilty. The metallurgy where the Ark of the Covenant was made in that mountain by Bezalel, the artisan. So you can even see the mark in the stone of the wing of the Ark of the Covenant. And that's the mountain just behind with a black pig, where you can see there in the verses of the Bible where it says that God descended as a fire. And you can see all the mountain in white and the pig in black. All this is the same mountain that I'm showing you. This one. And with all this. Yeah, the cave of Elijah and the menorah from the Jews. And you can see that same menorah being chiseled and erased in 2021 picture at the bottom left-hand side, as they want to erase the history of the Jews. You see the 12 springs and the 70 palm trees before they came to that mountain of Elim. And there it is, Elim. To this date, the 12 springs of water are still there. And the sea crossing, and you can see many kinds of Egyptian wheels of the chariots, but in a coral way. See, the coral has molded into its wheels, and that's what you get there. It's said that God used all the chariots of Egypt, all of it. Many wheels, I think, will be with different spokes. No, so come on. See, it's all there. Everybody knows it's there. Huh? Come on. Yeah, why not? See? It's not. This is this. This is that. Haven't you seen National Geographic? History Channel? Yeah, I see it. They all lie. So it's normal. And you just have to scratch your head. You know they're lying. They know they want to take away God. And just not here from a mistake. So yes, you can see this wheel, and you can see the chariot wheels of Tutankhamun, or his chariot in the museum. And they are practically the same. So I just leave the rest to you. So I'm going to leave you now. Please remember, I'll show you the names again so you can check it out. Hatshepsut. This was the woman who picked the basket up in the river. Moses. And this is Moses' name in those days. Senemut. Now, check it out. Check it out by yourselves. See? This is the chariots that they took. Yeah? And took 600 chosen chariots and all the other chariots of Egypt, with officers over all of them. See? And all the other chariots of Egypt. 600 chosen ones and all the others. Oh, yeah. accepts it. Just see everything that I've shown you now, and you do your investigations. And I'm very. It's not my forte, ancient Egypt, you know, and I know many stuff from ancient Egypt. But if any one of you knows enough of this subject, and maybe you can connect dots with this from everything that you know, well, you show me. And I will be glad to see it. So, bye bye now. Love you all and take care. Catch you in the next video.